Okay, am I audible? Okay. Hello everyone, this is Pooja Pua. Today me, my classmate Bhavyata Kukadia, Hina Parmar and Avni Jani are going to present a presentation on Gun Island by Amitav Ghosh from the paper Contemporary Literature in English. So here are the academic information of the presenters. Now this is the table of contents, author, key facts about novel, character, plot, theme, articles with book review and learning outcome and resources. So let's see first about the author. So this photo and this information is taken from the original book cover of the Gun Island. So it is goes like that. He born in 1956 in Calcutta, studied in University of Delhi and Oxford. A shortlist for Man Booker Prize for Sea of Poppies from Ibis Trilogy. He was awarded with Jananpit Award in 2018, drawing inspiration from a myth involving the snake goddess Manasa Devi. In this novel, Ghost wrote Gun Island about a rare book dealer who undertakes a journey in which he must face issues of past. So, in this story, the story of Dinanath Datta is going on in the whole novel. Let's see some of the key facts. Full title Gun Island by Amitav Ghosh, published in 2019, published by Penguin Random House India, setting in Kolkata, India, Sundarbans, mangrove forest, Los Angeles, and Venice. Here is the little Google Earth slideshow I prepare to understand how he goes from place to place. Uh, our protagonist. I guess there is a little problem by me. Let's move on from it. So narration is in first and third person. Pages around like 288, 289. It is for Anna Nadoti and Irene Bignardi. Genre of this novel is sci-fi movie, climate fiction, and also historical fiction. A style realism. So these slides are from the Anjali Rathod. So here is the outcome of Anjali Rathod. Let's see some this original this takes. Hmm. So this lines or this little introduction is from the original text. An original text. It is like on a visit to birthplace Calcutta from Brooklyn-based dealer in rare books find. So this describes the story of our protagonist, that how he travel from Brooklyn to Kolkata and find a mythical story of Mansa Devi, and how from this myth his life changes. and next is people with diverse cast of characters and set in place that range from Sundarbans to Los Angeles and Venice. So first he go to first he come from Brooklyn to Calcutta, then he goes to Los Angeles and from to Sundarbans, I'm sorry, and then Los Angeles and then Venice. So in this area, how this myth is connected with his journey is described in this novel. So these are some important characters. Chand Sadgar, Mansa Devi, Nakhuda Ilyas are mythical characters from this story. So this book is divided into two parts. First one is the gun merchant, and second is Venice. And these are some chapters divided in this novel. So let's see the plot of the novel. So part one, gun merchant. Narrator first start with the narrator that Din Datta visit Kolkata, and there in the family gathering he meets Kannai Dutt. And Kannai Dutt tells him that there is a person named Nilima Bose wants to meet him and tell him about the mythical story of Mansa Devi. So the character of the shrine tells, and when he go to meet Nilima, Nilima tells a whole story that how he experienced this cyclone, Bola cyclone, and how this all thing became connected with shrine and its story. So the caretaker of shrine tells Nima the legend, similar to classic tale of the merchant Chand Saudagar, who angers the snake goddess Mansa Devi. In this story, a gun merchant angers the goddess and flees to a place called Gun Island. So the whole story of gun merchant is told in this myth, and how he goes to Sundarban to Gun Island, which is described as Venice in this story. When we go to second chapter, Chinta unexpectedly calls Din. He called Din from the airport, and she recalls her moment with Din, that how was a performance about goddess Mansa Devi when they meet in the past, and Din looks back in his journal from that visit. So Chinta try to recall the story, and Din tries to see in his journal. Normally he used to write diary in all the events which happened with him, so he tries to recalls that story and see in that book. The next morning, after all this happened, calls and all this, so next morning Chinta learns about a tragedy that sent Dean to America. His activist girlfriend Durga, here the character of Durga is activist, similar like she's a Maoist, similar like Revti from the Ministry of Utmost Happiness, is being killed in a police encounter likely set up by her comrades. And Chinta recommends Din after some months. Chinta recommends Din for a job in rare books business in New York, and they maintain a lifelong friendship. So this is how their friendship are connected in this novel. After a call reminding him not to always take the easy path, Din decide to visit gun merchants right in Sundarbans. Yeah. First, when he goes to meet the Nilima, she offers him, means offer Din to go to Sundarbans after hearing the telling the story that you should go there and check out this myth. Is it really happened or not? So for that he offers him to go Sundarbans, but he tells that I will think about it. I should go or not. But after the call of Chinta, he decided that I want to go and check at least once that is it true or is it only myth, because the course or research topic of Din was this about myth and connected with myth. So then also there encountered some Bengali businessman named Tipu, who becomes his guide and confidant. So there from here he go to Sundarban, Mangalore's jungle, and then explores Gun Island, its surroundings, and he encounters a diverse cast of characters, including Tipu, another character named Rafi. So when he go to shrines in Sundarban, Nilima tells a whole story of Sundarban and how Mansa Devi is connected with it, where there is a shrine which is made by this gun merchant as promised to Mansa Devi. So these are some important symbols which are in that shrine draw, which leads to the places which was visited by the gun merchant. So grapples with question of identity and belonging, particularly as he reconnects with his Indian heritage after years of living in United States. So he also tried to connect it with his life. He reflects on his family's history of migration and displacement, as well as his own experience as an immigrant in America. As we know that he lived in Brooklyn. When Dean goes to the shrines and observe everything, symbols which are on the shrine, there he also knows more about Tipu, that he is not only a person who is as a caretaking there, but he also great in technology. As Din mentioned further, as he then mentioned the possibility of myth and being true, a cobra, like Din thinks that if this myth is true, then there should be anywhere king cobra or anything. Like it is Mansa Devi, the person who has snake on his head has a hair. So he thinks that there should be some cobra, and suddenly cobra appears behind him. Rafi tried to tell him, but it is too late, and that cobra bites Tipu. Then Tipu cries out in pain as venom quickly spread through his body. Hence, and he start unconscious. But before he go unconscious, he uttered the words that Rani is in danger. They don't know who is Rani. In originality, Rani is the name of a dolphin. After all this happened, they somehow saved him after that. And after all this happened, then returns to Brooklyn again. Here he got a message about a seminar which is in Los Angeles, which we learn further. Now Tipu sees the mail. After all this happened, Tipu got a mail suddenly from the address bonduki@bonduki.com, which is originally used by Tipu, and asked then question, a weird question like, do you believe in booth, or do you, and what is the meaning of position, what are your thoughts about it? He asked questions like this to him. When he was in Brooklyn, he got also a message from Pia, that in Los Angeles, where you want to go, there are also wildfires. Here we are introduced to a new character named Lisa. That all the blame of these wildfires are it came on the head of Lisa. That she won fund for his research. That's why she do all this. Now Dean goes to Los Angeles and he sees wildfires from the window of aeroplane, that he is found to sit at the window seat, and there he also see two birds are fighting for snack means sir, fighting for that. He connects this fighting with the myth told by Nilima. So he thought that there are signs, a divine signs for me, that I should go and check in detail this whole story. Now here comes the event of seminar in which Chinta is going to make her points, like she was going to give a speech, and there is also a speech which discusses the historical survey of 17th century about how calamities happen, but we didn't take notice, or we didn't take it seriously. So that seminar goes and research paper goes like that. After this, when Dean and Chinta are talking, Dean tells Chinta all the story of Mansa Devi told by Nilima and all that thing. And Chinta is trying to connect these things, this thing with myth. I forgot to mention character named Piali Roy before. Sorry about that. She has a view of scientific. She is totally rational type of thing. So in this novel, we can see three point of view. Like Chinta is going on total belief of myth. In between, there is a character of Din going parallel, not in myth, not in rational. And there is a character Pia Leroy. She was totally rational. So the story goes in and like that. All the thing Chinta tries to connect in myth, then Pia Leroy connect to this scientific thing. Now Chinta invites Dean to come to Venice. After hearing this story, Chinta tried to confront him that you come to Venice and we'll check that this story is really happened or not. But Tipu hasn't enough money for that. But is it like some Shakti or divine thing, as I told that? He suddenly got a call from Jiza, another character, and she wants a translator for Bengali, as Din is originally Bengali. So he was shocked also at the same time that are there people in Venice of Bengali tradition? So she will pay him money also for that. So the idea that he wants to go to Venice and the problem of money is also solved. Like some power is working behind him for him, and people who are okay, so that's why he want translator in Venice. So Giza wants to make a documentary on people who are migrating from poor country to Venice. Here we got the detailed story about Chinta and that of her daughter and her husband. Here we also find the story of Chinta, that how her husband was a journalist, but he was threatened by some mafia, and in plane crash, his daughter and his husband died. Now, when she told Chinta tells about and connect this with myth, tells four places for this. One is Gun Island, which is originally right now in Venice. So in now it is Venice, but in story it is Gun Island. In story it is island of Chen, but here it is Shikoltwe. In story it is land of kerchiefs, but in Bengali, in originally it means Humali Desh. And the fourth one is land of palm and sugar candy, which means Tal Mishri Desh in Bengali. So this myth and reality, or somewhere history, Chinta tries to connect this both. Now here part two ends. Sorry, part one ends and start part two, which name Venice. All the things happen in Venice. When Din came to Venice, he remembered Varanasi when he sees Venice and its culture. So here comes the point that Mansa Devi and Medusa are mediators. Without them, there will no. Okay, so here he also tried to think that, or Amitav Ghosh gave the idea that mythical character like Medusa or Mansa Devi are like mediators for human and animal. Like if we cannot connect the animal with powers or some Devi Devta, we try to injure them like they are only animals. But when we think that like see એ માતા શક્તિનું વાહન છે, so we tell that do not injure him or do not do anything with it, કારણ કે એની સાથે ભગવાન જોડાયેલા છે. So in that sense he tried to connect it with it. When he was going from here and there in Venice, so he was wondering, he heard a sound Savudan, means Bengali. In Bengali it was he was shocked also, and that was told by Rafi, the character which was in Sundarban, who saved also Tipu. So Tipu and Rafi are together in whole novel. So Dean got to know that if someone wants to work there, from Rafi, he got to know if someone wants to work in Venice, particularly, they have to connect Lugna Kala. Here comes the backstory of Lugna Kala and her husband also. That her husband tried to help the migrated people in Venice, and he has soft corner for that. So Lugna Kala is also work on that path. So now when Dean goes to meet Rafi, there is a sudden encounter with Spider. So with snacks and all these things, there is also an encounter with Spider. And that very same Spider, when he goes to meet Rafi, he saw that Spider. And when he came to his place where he was staying, he saw the same Spider. He clicked that photo and sent to Pia. And Pia sent that to Larry he was in US at that time, and Larry was researching on spider. He's researching spider, so he sent it that. And now Dean and Pia talked about what happened with him and all these things. In the next chapter, surroundings, he got call from Pia again, and she was worried that she got an email from unknown person that about the beaching of dolphins. Here we got the whole idea of how the beaching of dolphin happens, like when they some like when they heard or what we call experience some danger in sea, they came on the beach or on the beach and do the social suicide type of thing, which is like beaching of dolphins. So we got to know that whole idea about scientific thing. Here we got the idea of beaching and pollution from industry also, that they got danger or ideas of danger, that there is a danger in sea, how cause of pollution, that sea is not a pure like other centuries. In next chapter, friends, the story of Rafi continues that he was beaten by Bilal. When Dean and Bilal meet, another story of Bilal and Kabir, it is written Kabir opens up. So when we meet new people, their story opens up. there are so many characters which has their own struggle, and Amitav tried to give them a particular idea of their behind the story and all the idea which is connected with reality. About like in this story, from the story of Bilal and Kabir, we got to know the idea of human trafficking and organ transplant. Now Rafi tells him that how he and Tipu got separated, and he is going to do anything to bring Tipu back. Rafi tells here that how Rafi, he and Tipu got separated when they are coming Sundarban to Venice. Now, when Dean goes to meet Lugna Kala, she and there, but she meets another person named Palash, and his story opens up. All the people who are coming to Venice are like mostly poor people or somewhere suffered by some calamities or anything that. But this Polish person, he came here to study further. But as he is not able to, he was ashamed to face his family. That's why he stay here in Venice. Then Palas tells that Kala goes to meet some activists because of Blue Board. Now the Blue Board, Luciana comes in the story, in which there are poor people who are migrating from the other countries, and she goes to talk about that to some activists that they want to help that poor people. This Lugna Kala is main person for that. In the next chapter, warnings, we got discussion about position. We saw that position in further in above slide. So this position came in this chapter as well. Also, there is talk between Chinta and Gil that she tries to give mystical interpretation about the event of Spider as well. Whenever she got to know another story, she tries to connect it with mystical thing and history. Later, when Chinta and Dean walk towards the church, they recall that it was built around 1629 and it was referenced with some mythical character, particularly Medusa, and about some other. Building about Galileo, and also that event came, and they walk further and further. There come an event where Chinta tries to got support from a wooden plank, but that broke, and she got injured. When Dean tried to see that how it got broke, that wooden plank, so it shows that there is a sheep form in it. So that shipworm thing also tells about this climate change, and he also got worried that most of the house of Venice is of a wooden. Now suddenly Bilal came from somewhere when Chinta got injured, like Shakti is told in mystical way. Bilal comes from somewhere and helps injured Chinta and goes to the hospital. In the same hospital, Rafi was there, and Rafi says about Tipu might be in Blue Boat. And here we also got a new character, uh, Egyptian dark tall lady, which is this story connects with Manasa Devi. She is Manasa Devi, not particularly, but we can it can connect it. So now, after all this happening, all the character goes to Blue Board. They go to Blue Board, but while going there, in the between, they encounter tornado. When they are in the tornado, there is a road blockage and tree falls, and all the things are not really good. There, someone somehow or someone came a person from the wood and tell them that this road is blockage, but you can go to another road. So this person Chinta tried to connect with that she is a gun merchant, and he come to help Din at that time. But somehow they got out of that, and they go to Blue Bot. Here another character came that Hush. All these thing happen. They go to Blue Bot, and there also last one villain came, Admiral. Okay, but he got the change of heart, and he also helped these poor people. When the Blue Bot is coming, the event, the bioluminescence. This event is happen in the story when Blue Bot is coming. This whole thing happened, and there a character, this Egyptian dark tall lady came, like પાછળથી light આવતી હોય. Bioluminescence is something which came with light. It is totally, when we see it, we feel like, wow, what a fairy tale type of thing happened. So with this event, it connect with dark tall lady. So for Rafi and all of them, it is like she's David kind of thing. In the backstory of Gun Merchant, when he was caught by pirates, there is also Mansa Devi come and told him that if you promise to make a shrine, I will help you. So that thing connected with this story. So the story ends with returning of Dean to Brooklyn, and he has now idea that this tale might be somewhere in reality. Of course, he encounters all these things, go to places, and he has so many situation in it. But in end, he somewhere think that this story is not totally myth, but it's somewhere connected with reality. So I have question for you all, that what do you think, is it really a story, or it is myth, or it is connected with history according to this novel? There are some clues and ideas that I tried to connect with it. That Bonduki Sodagar, this is in Bengali, which means the gun merchant. There is a cyclone in this story, which is Polar cyclone, occurred in 1970, but it was named after years later when it happened. Okay, there is a Chand Sodagar, which is gun merchant. This Bonduki Sadgar. Then Mansa Devi, similar to Medusa, mythological character who has snakes as hair, as we all know. Nineveh gets story orally cause the gun merchant wants to pass down mouth to mouth. Story can be cause it is spread mouth to mouth. This story can be suspicious. We can connect it with the Plato's view of speech over writing. Story of gun merchant. This when he was traveling from here to there because of natural disaster, he was captured by pirates, and there Mansa Devi appears and tell him if he build this shrine, he will help him, and gun merchant agrees with her. When he returns to Bengal, he brings vast fortune and an amazing tale, and that's how he got famous. These lines are from original text. That this story, how he got famous, and how this mythical story connected with this reality. So here are my learning outcomes. Also, when we talk about this story, which is come this like this gun merchant and all this, there is a film named Kartike. Also, it is also talk about same thing, same story about myth and reality, and he also explored it. In the original text, there is a text which tells that it doesn't matter if you agree with me or no. Sometime there is someone will come who explore all this thing and tells that it is reality or not. So we can connect it with the particular movie Kartike. Here is my learning outcome, that while reading the particular story or the story or text, I'm able to connect so many points. As I said, that all this thing I'm trying to connect it with movie and all this thing with real incident also. When we talk about wildfire, so we can see that in reality as well. I got to know about the beaching of dolphin and whales as well. I do not know. I didn't know about that, but from this story, I got to know about this whole marine life also, and also I have some interest in it. I know about wildfire, but I got to a new point about that. This novel was written before wildfire around Los Angeles happened. So, because of that, I got to know that how timeline is also important. While reading, I also was inspired really to write my dissertation research article, as the character in this novel are dedicated to their profession. That all of them has particular profession and interest in their profession. So I'm inspired for that also. I got ideas and plot is inspiring me to write a novel myself with connection with myth and history with new points. Normally, when we see or try to write something from our side, what we got the first one in our mind, that I want to write a story. We got love stories. Okay, but from this novel, I got new point, that how can write a story or something related to myth and history. How can I do that also? So thank you. This is from my side. Now I would like to call Bhavya Kukade, my co-presenter, for further.
Hello everyone. I will deal with themes in this presentation. So first is in this novel Gun Island. There are four major themes in this: etymological mystery and the title itself, Gun Island. This is the first theme in the novel. Uh, uh, According to Bhattacharya, At the heart of the story of Gun Island, there lies an etymological mystery, a derivation that point to the deep and inex- inextricable intermeshing of cultures and civilization over the ages. This this is why etymology fascinates me, like sailors' words to our travelers, and tracing their journey is like describing voyage of adventures in Gun Island. Etymology isn't just a background; it's a integral to the story. It shows how language connects to the world and changes over the time, and uh, it also helps us to understand the narrative pattern better. The first is the title, Gun Island. The title itself suggests the story about a merchant who went to Venice and found a place where, sorry, a weapon were made and called a foundry. In this word ghetto comes from Venice, and it's connected to who were Jewish people who lived in the Venice. Venice is also connected with guns because of the name in the Arabic. The title in the title story about the merchant discovering this connection between Venice and weapon and the Jewish area. Uh, Here is the dialogue from this novel. And second is gun merchant. Gun merchant is in this novel means a merchant who visited in Venice. Here is the uh, dialogue from this novel. Was it possible that I had completely misunderstood the name Banduki Sadagar? Could it be that its meaning was not the gun merchant as I had thought, but rather the merchant who went to the Venice? Third is the booth. In the generally booth means a ghost, but in the novel the word booth is a mention in the Brooklyn chapter of the novel. It's part of the conversation of Tipu and Dinanath. They are discussing the word booth. In the Bangla, booth is the same meaning of the being or an existing. The word booth is also refers to in the story past, in the sense of past of being, and bhutkal and past times, etc. Booth in the story, booth is not a ghost, is represent a memory. So it can be with you in the form of a memory. Fourth one is a possession. Possession is when someone is taken over by a demon. When I watched the video of Sir, he mentioned also. I forgot. Sorry. In other words, possession is a conscience of, sorry, word guard. But in the novel, that doesn't mean a word guard or anything. In other words, possession is consciousness of things. In the warning chapter is all about talking of possession. The possession and Dinanath, sorry, Din and Chinta, they are talking about the possession in this warning chapter. According to Chinta, the word possession is not demonic or negative. A possession is not like someone's soul come into our body and all things. It's our greed that we have taken over that greed. Here is a dialogue from Chita explained to Dinanath that uh, uh, explained that possession become when a person loses will and freedom. Further, she said it is a kind of awakening. You are waking up to things that you had never imagined or sensed before. The word is ghetto. Ghetto is a residency where place where Jewish people are living. Here is the Sundarban. Here is the dialogue from the old ghetto is an island within an island. The specific space in the Sundarban is gone island within island. It's as show the ghetto word. The other word is land of palm sugar. Land of the palm sugar in the Bengal. It is a Bengali word. It's Tal Mishrir Desh. In the Bengali, Desh means country, and Tal is kind of palm tree which produces sugar syrup, and it's the process of crystallization of sugar, also known as mishri, because the process had come to Bengal, and by way of Egypt. So here, land of palm sugar candy is mention of the Egypt. Land of Karchis, it means Rumali Desh, Turkey. In Bengali, Rumal means handkerchief. Chinta said it is about Rumalia and located in the Turkey. So Rumali Desh and land of kerchiefs is a Turkey. The second was another one is the island of chains. It means Sicily. In the Bengali, the word is shikol, which means a dweep. So it reference of Sicilia, now is a Sicily. The island of chain is used for Sicily. So second theme is sorry. Second theme is historification of myth and mythification of history. Here is four part of this historyification of myth and mythification of history. Four approaches to study myth and history in the literature. First is myth and ritual, functionalism, psychoanalytic approach, and the structuralism. Uh, a pioneer of this approach is Malinowski, Claude Lévi-Strauss, Freud, and Emil Durkheim. Functionalism is given by Malinowski, structuralism given by Claude Lévi-Strauss, and psychoanalytic approach given by Freud, and myth and rituals given by Emil Durkheim and James Harrison. So Amitav Ghosh uses the myth as a tool for the narrative three levels: contemporary, history, and mythology. The book mentioned real places like Sundarban, Venice, Gito, and Sicily, along with his mythical locations. Here is the one picture of this. It looks like a snake and the gun, but in actually it's a first Hebrew alphabet. It represent of Ilya's identity. The second one is the image looks like showing island within island. It's historical place of ghetto. And the third one is image look like Spider-Man, but in actually it's showing arms. It could also related to foundry. In the novel, myths are not just made up stories, they reflect real events from this history. So the history seems to take place in the 17th century because mention events like the plague, fire, and character Banduki Sadagar. uh, Third theme is climate change. One of these best book of the Amitav Ghosh, The Great Derangement. uh, the Great Derangement is in a three-part story: history and politics. In this book, he raised some question, and some scholar believe that in the book Gun Island, he gives the answer of these questions. Gun Island, it's a story of traveling and migration, overlain with myth and folk tales and deep in crisis of climate changes. The author uses animals like spider, snakes, appearing place something they end up in strange places. Like spider in place they don't usually live, or snakes on beaches where you wouldn't expect them. This show how the world is getting weird and more messed up because of the climate change. Part Amitav Ghosh mentioned some this that snakes are placed in other another place which they are not lived. Here is the dialogue from this novel. In the Gun Island, the author uses character Dean trip to Los Angeles to show another scary effects of climate change. massive wild Massive wildfire. He was inspired by real wildfire that happened in California in 2018, which were the worst in the state's history. Then could even see the burn up land from the plane, where hillsides and forests had turned into the ash. And here is a dialogue from the novel: "Vast field of ash." Here is a corpus from in the novel, which are mentioned in the novel. Last theme, migration and human trafficking in the and refugee crisis. The migration main three reasons of migration is war and natural disasters, religious migration, and climate refugees. The novel mainly talk about two places, Sundarban and Venice. So both these places are sinking. So people have to move from there often because of some climate changes. Reasons of the migration is natural calamities, communal violence, poverty, and socio-economic condition. In the novel, we can see these four reasons of the migration and human trafficking. My learning outcome. So I came up with the when I learned theme of this novel and come the learning outcome. It's learning outcome. This story from the past also teach us history, and the world is more confusing than it seems. In the novel, I learned that keep trying even when things are tough. We have to do. Don't lose our hope. Second is traveling can help us grow as a person. In the novel, travel is a big part of the novel. So illegal migration become harmful. We can connect this illegal migration with the contemporary that one family migrate to Canada or Australia. I don't know first one world country. They migrate with illegal things and they died in this. So I can connect this illegal migration with contemporary. And the novel isn't just imagery. When I read some parts, I feel that it tells us history, and I can connect this 17th century when plague also is there. I can connect this with contemporary time of corona pandemic things. So thank you. Another article part will deal my other classmates.
So I'm going to deal with articles. First article, Gun Island by Amitav Ghosh, review climate and culture in crisis by Alex Clark. So in this first review, fundamentally, this first review is argues that traditional realism in fiction is insufficient to capture the complexities of the climate crisis and what is its impact on culture. In 2019, author Amitav Ghosh wrote The Great Derangement, which argues that people are not people are avoiding the harsh reality of climate change and climate change, and he wonders why even fiction, including his own, struggle to openly address this crisis. Um Climate change is a huge problem, and it also affecting our culture. Writers are worried about writing about climate change would be unbelievable because it seems so scary and so big, and it is a so big problem, and writers are worried that their stories will be too unrealistic, so they avoid this topic altogether. And the world is facing a great disaster, and great disaster, and many writers haven't figured it out how to talk about it yet. And in his new book, Amitav Ghosh says that forget being realistic, just tell the truth. And his stories is full of crazy stuff, weird coincidences, and many magical elements combined with a story where animals and humans are constantly on a move because of climate change. And this story is also follows the um, main character Dinanath Datta, who is a rare book seller. And the second article, Gun Island, is a surreal novel about climate change and migration by J.R. Ramakrishnan. This article explores the main theme like migration, climate change, and societal inequalities through the conversation between Amitav Ghosh, who is the author of Gun Island, and J.R. Ramakrishnan, who is a reviewer. Yes, in this article, Ramakrishnan mention Suketu Mehta's prediction of a migration crisis due to a climate change, and Amitav Ghosh clarified the thing that his focus in Gun Island was not just migration. He also wanted to exploring the complexities of it. And Ghosh also clarified the thing that complex systems like human migration, no, human trafficking, and widespread internet access is the key element for migration, not just climate change. And these factors are the opportunities for who want a better life. This is two images of illegal migration, and illegal migration has risen due to the upcoming years. The third article, the era of environment derangement, witnessing climate crisis in Amitav Ghosh, Gun Island, Nupur Pancholi, and Sanjit Kumar Mishra. And this article explores how our human focus ideas of human life might be causing climate change. Using Amitav Ghosh book Gun Island and his ideas about climate denial, it argues that our desire for more stuff in hunting the planet, leading to rising temperatures and extreme weather, and habitat loss, especially in places like the Sundarbans. Andrew Reber, in his article Anthropocentrism and Reason in Dialectic of Environmental Crisis and Animal Subjects, endorses this wide viewpoint and notes that human history is a constant human centric struggle to subjugate nature in order to ensure betterment and security of human society. And Ghosh also regards that anthropocentric culture is primarily responsible for generating those desires. He says that, I quote, "You have to think about the whole history and culture of people, reading perhaps Jane Austen and imagining English greensward all around them. That becomes the idea of a good life. What we all chasing is an idea of good life then that comes to us from cultures." And Ghosh also connect the climate change with death, and he says that no one wants to talk about it yet. And here are some writers who talk about it. George Marshall writes, "People yearn for normality and safety, and no one wants to be reminded of a growing global threat. As they rebuild their lives, they invest their hopes along with their saving in the belief that the catastrophe was a rare natural uh, aberration." Ghosh, in his essay Folly in the Sundarbans, shows an attempt of human enroachment in the areas. The essay criticizes an ambitious plan of creating an enormous new tourism complex in Sundarbans proposed by Sarah Indian Parivar in 2003. And the other critic, Ursula Kluwik, in her essay, The Global Deluge, Flood, uh, Delvin Imaginary and Aquatic Language in Amitav Ghosh, The Hungry Tide and the Gun Island, claims that the tale of the gun merchant functions as a review of climate change, and it determines human reluctance to recognize the underlying and inextricable links between human actions and environmental alterations. And the last article, with Gun Island, Amitav Ghosh turns global crisis into engaging fiction. This review by Roman Alam. In this review, Roman Alam talk about Gun Island, and he highlights the novel's engagement with significant contemporary issues like climate change, migration, and Alam acknowledges Ghosh's skills in crafting a narrative that tackles those pressing globe concern while maintaining the essence of the captivating stories. This review suggests that Gun Island managed to balance entertainment with thought-provoking ideas, making it a novel that grapples with contemporary issues while offering a diverting and engaging reading experiences. So these reviews talk about the theme of the main ideas of Gun Island, and how Amitav Ghosh balance entertainment and also thought provoking ideas which appear in this text. And my learning outcome from articles and reviews. Reading different articles and reviews exposes me to diverse interpretations of the novel, enriching my understanding and offering new angles to consider. First review which argues that which talk about that the traditional realism in fiction is insufficient to capture this contemporary crisis. And the second article explores the theme of climate change, migration, and societal inequalities. And the third article talk about how our human focus ideas of good life might be causing climate change using this refers Amitav Ghosh book The Gun Island, and he's in the Ghosh idea of climate change. And the last review by Roman Alam highlights the novel's engagement with significant contemporary issues like migration, climate change, and human migration. For further discussion, I would like to call Avni Jani.
Good noon. I am going to deal with the remaining two articles and one book review. So, in this article, is the global warming the 21st century's Black Death? In this article, focuses on how our reliance on technology, material comforts, and rationality has led to the form of a demonic possession, wherein we are unable to confront the realities of climate changes despite being aware of its consequences. The author emphasize the importance of storytelling, faith, and irrational beliefs in the motivating collective action and addressing complex challenges like climate change. When considers this kitchen sink approach is either a brave experiment in bringing climate change to action adventures, readers or an overwrought provocations. A dialectic and experienced writer like Ghosh, best known for his fictional AIDS trilogy, probably intends, since in the course of his narrative he makes references to Jatra, a style of Indian performance art that goes on for hours with absurdly costumed figures screening in the falsetto voices. So this is Gun Island is Amitav Ghosh's most tender book yet is the book review by Shreya Ila Ansuya. She points out these mentioned points, which are also discussed in the previous articles. So I'm not going to dwell deep into that. Shreya Ila Ansuya reviews that the story has its problems, including its flaws in pacing, the preoccupation with the inner life of its principal character to the neglect of many of its other compelling people, particularly the woman, especially Sinta, who feels woefully undersued, underused, and whose perspective could live up in novel like this immensely. Even so, this is in some ways goes most tender, even most personal novel yet, while simultaneously being global in scope. It is a story full of the particular grace. From Mansa to Madonna, reading the religion and mythology in Amitav Ghosh, Gun Island by Dr. Sanjukta Chatterjee. This article attempts to convey the things that are blending of myths and history. It shows how Ghosh interweaves ancient mythology like the tale of snake goddess Mansa, with actual historical events like a 17th century plague in Venice, connecting mythic narratives across the time and space, linking diverse cultures. The article discusses how Ghosh draws parallels between Indian, Italian, and Cretan mythological figures, traditions to emphasize cultural interconnections and universalism underlying myths. Critique of institutionalized religion. It examines how Ghosh questions colonialist conceptions of religion in favor of more mystical, pluralistic spiritual understanding, embracing marginalized belief systems. Highlighting climate crisis and displacement, the analysis touches on how mythical natural disasters in the novel mirror current climate disruptions and refugees crises, linking the past and present human displacement. The power of storytelling. And in essence, the article attempts to convey how Ghosh employs mythology, magical realism, excuse me, intertextuality to put forth a universal pluralistic vision for a vision of a spirituality while also tracking themes of environmental destruction and the plight of a displaced. The healing power of the story is a core highlight. Here are the learning outcomes. After reading the articles and book review, I noticed the similarity between religion and traditional across different nations and religions. I learned that the treatment of refugees and migrant communities in the novel reflects social injustice faced by the displaced groups due to climate disruptions and economic crisis, which can be traced back to the questionable historical forces. The connection between mythical disaster and current climate disruptions raises awareness about worshipping environmental destruction and its increasing human consequences. That's it for my side and from my group sides. Here I'm ending the presentation. Here are the resources. Thank you.